and welcome to Mollie's Motif. This is Emily, and today I'm going to show you the card that I'm putting together for the Linky party that is starting over at Craftin Desert Divas today. And we want to see you use puns on your cards or your projects. And I am so excited to be working with Tara's new stamp set of Punny that she released last month. And this one has some awesome puns on here. The sentiments are just awesome. So I'll just kind of read some of them. There's I love you, to put, you know, with a sheep. No lion, you're cute. Apple of my eye, nuts about you. Something's fishy, I'm buggy about you. I love you very much. Just some really, really cute sentiments on this Punny stamp set. And if you haven't checked out Tara's stamp line, I would definitely head over to her shop and take a look, because she has some really awesome stamps for different occasions. So this is what I'm going to be using, one of the sentiments from there. And then I'm also going to be using Elegant Edges. I'm going to be using a matte from here. And I am going to be using from the Cricut Light cartridge, Love You a Latte. And I picked this cartridge up in November. I went on kind of an eBay shopping spree addiction, I guess you would call it, because it is rather addicting to do the bidding and all that kind of stuff. And I picked up a few cartridges. This was one of them. And I'm going to be using the teacup that's on this cartridge. If you can see that right there. It's kind of light on here, but find it here on the back page. So and the light cartridges are super simple. There's not too many options. You know, with the cut, you just have your base cut, your shift base, your layer, and your shift layer, and that's all you've got. And so this is how my little teacup turned out. So your base cut, you get the actual teacup. Your shift base, you get the piece that is going to show for your tea strand, the string on your tea bag. And then your layer is what you want your scallop, accent, and the actual tea bag to be. And then your shift layer are the accent pieces on the top and the bottom. So super easy to put together. And I cut mine at 2 inches. Yep, it was 2 inches. I had to think about that for a minute. And that's how it turned out, and I think it's really cute. And then I'll just kind of go through my card, and then I'll show you the Elegant Edges mat in a minute. So I have just a 5x5. I love doing 5x5s lately. I think that just gives you a little bit more room to work with, and I really like that. And it's just some cream yellow cardstock. And then all my paper, all my pattern paper, it's coming from this My Mind's Eye 6x6 Tangerine paper pack, and I love it. I love the colors in this pack. And the designs, just so fun. I love the oranges and the yellows together. I think it's just so pretty. And the flowers, I love flowers. So that's where my paper is coming from. And so my first mat is just going to be this plaid. It's this teal, light teal, aqua color. Really pretty. And so that'll be my first mat. And then my next layer are going to be the mats that I pulled from Elegant Edges. So I will show you in the handbook. On page 68 of the handbook, I just cut the shift base out of this pattern paper here. And then I cut the shadow piece out of some more of that pattern paper. It's just an orange, kind of a burnt orange diagonal piece. I'm going to get that figured out. Oh, no, I messed it up. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's going to be my next mat. And I cut that mat at 4 inches. And I did have one of my viewers, Frances, on my last one of my last videos. She asked me how I know what size to cut my mats. And truth be known, I don't know. When I'm when I'm starting out with a card, I really don't know what size I'm going to be using. I don't know what's going to work best with my card. And so I always, I have like a stack of this ugly orange cardstock, and I always use it for my practice cuts. And so I just, you know, I kind of think of a size that I think it might be, and I start there, and then I just cut it out of this icky orange cardstocks till I can, you know, find out what size I want it to be. And so, and it just so happened to be 4 inches this time. And then if you want, you can keep a library of your scrap pieces so that when you need to cut another mat, you can look through the different sizes that you've cut to see which one will work. So that's just a little tip, a little hint, if you will, on how to size your mats and how to figure out what your mats are. Because honestly, I really don't know, you know, I don't know if you can just measure or whatnot, but I just use scrap pieces and figure out what works best for me. So hopefully that might help a little bit in the future when you're trying to figure out what size to cut your mats. So anyway, my little teacup, it's going to be popped up. I'm probably going to pop it up on 2 thicknesses of foam tape just to give it, because the Love You a Latte doesn't have a shadow feature. I do want it to have a little bit more dimension and pop up off of the pattern paper a little bit more. So I'm probably going to use 2 thicknesses of foam tape on that. And it's just going to be centered in the middle. And then my sentiment from the Craftin Desert Divas Punny stamp set is terrific fun. And that, I love the size of these stamps because they can fit anywhere. I love it. I really like small sentiments because, you know, you don't have to necessarily, if it's too big, sometimes you're just like, where am I going to fit this? So I really like the size of this, and it's just perfect. It's going to fit perfect right there on the mat. And then I'm going to embellish up my card a little bit. My mother-in-law, she used to own a sewing company, and she has so many buttons and lace and ribbon and all that kind of stuff. So I actually have confiscated a bunch of my embellishments from her because she doesn't use them anymore. And when I was going through one of the boxes that she has given me, I found this awesome lace, and I've never used lace on any of my cards, and I just thought it would be perfect for this. And I actually think that that lace matches the pattern on this paper so great. So I'm just gonna run that along the bottom there. And then I just found 3 different buttons that are kind of that orange color. I think just really matches well with the card and the color scheme. And they're just kind of 3 random buttons that I'm just going to put up there just for a little decoration, and I think it looks really cute. So this is what this is how it's turning out, and I will go ahead and get this put together. I will finish the inside and I'll come back and show you how it turned out. Okay, so I've got my card put together, and it came together very nicely. I did go ahead and pop up my scalloped mat on 1 thickness of foam tape, and then my teacup is popped up on 2 thicknesses. So there's some good dimension there with the card. I really like it. I think it turned out really nice. Let's see if we can get a side angle. Anyway, but yeah, so, and then my base mat was just tacked down with my ATG, and then my buttons are tacked down with, I just buy the Elmer's glue spots from Walmart, and they work fine for me, and that's what I use to tack my buttons down. And I'll have to tell you, I'm so anal, that kind of having these random buttons, I'm trying to get used to it, but I'm like, it's kind of driving me nuts, but I think it looks really cute. It's just, I don't know, I'm so crazy like that. So, but I do like it. I think it turned out really nice, and I really like this lace trim down at the bottom. And then the inside, I'm just keeping my insides very simple. It doesn't take much just to decorate a little bit, you know, and so I just took just a piece of that pattern paper, just one of the scraps that I had left over, and just put it on the bottom. You really don't need that much on the inside of your card, and then you can, you know, stamp another sentiment. You have plenty of room to write, but it just adds just a little something on the inside, and doesn't have to be a whole brand new card when you open up when you open it up. So I'm kind of trying to scale back a little bit on the insides of my cards, just keep it really simple. And so that is my card that I have created for the Linky party over at Craftin Desert Divas, and the theme is to use puns on your cards or your projects. And again, I would definitely take a look over at Tara's shop and take a look at her Punny stamp set. It's so fun. Just some great sentiments on here. So I would encourage you to do that. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I'd appreciate any comments or feedback that you'd have for me. You can always check out my blog. It's mollymugsblog.blogspot.com. And we will catch you next time.